Good morning from Oakville, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I have been caught up in the idea of consciousness again, the idea, the experience, the knowledge, the experience based on knowledge. So, of course, we can learn a lot about this term consciousness, and of course, there's lots of different descriptions of it, and all of us carry it, all of us are it. And so today I thought I would talk about consciousness and distraction. So, of course, I've got some wonderful quotes that I wanted to share with you. And I thought I'd start with this one, which is by Michael Singer. It says, consciousness is always drawn to the most distracting object, the bumped toe, the loud noise, or the hurting heart. And I work with grief recovery, so I hear about lots of stories of hurting hearts, and certainly I believe we've all experienced this. But in all of these examples are things of something related to pain. That's often what gathers or gains our attention the easiest. So it's the things that are not so comfortable. The things that are comfortable that also gain our attention are things like joy, and we'll say a great relationship can bring joy. Sometimes an achievement can bring joy. Sometimes a purchase can bring joy. Those are also distracting. And so I thought I'd talk a little bit more about consciousness today. And I came across this quotation, which I thought was fantastic. It says, every object is made of consciousness and hence has individuality, intelligence, and feelings. It is because of consciousness that we can communicate with the object. So this consciousness within us, we're on the same vibration as the things that we look at through our senses, whether we hear, whether we're tasting something. This is all consciousness. This is, if we're on the same vibration, we are going to communicate. So we might not like the taste of something that we're eating, and there's a consciousness to something that we're eating. There is a vitality in it. There's a vitality in music we might hear. There's a vitality in a person we might meet. And that energy is connecting with our own vitality, our own consciousness. And this allows us to actually recognize it because it's the same. This sameness of consciousness there is meeting consciousness here, and we experience it. So then I also came across another quotation that I thought many people know about this idea, but of course it's something that can be experienced through meditation. And for myself, I'm aware, consciousness, is aware that this is the journey that it's been on and is currently on right now. And this says consciousness isn't a journey upward, but a journey inward, not a pyramid, but a maze. It's amazing too. This is by Bernard Lowe. And interesting that this journey within is, it's quite a maze. And I do think amazing. As soon as we pull out of the thought process, and you can imagine that when I've just mentioned this quotation on consciousness, it's the thought process is almost necessary for us to recognize this, that, oh, it's the consciousness, and even a rock that I look at that is meeting with this consciousness, which comes through my eyes and my mind, that allows me to connect with even a rock, even a person, even a music that I'm listening to, anything, a touch. It's consciousness meeting consciousness to allow an experience, which is also through consciousness. And this idea is a little bit, perhaps sounds complex, and yet if we think about any object that we see, hear, touch, feel, taste, so those are from senses, we think about, which is also a sense, the mind allows all of this experience through all of our senses. Any object, I had heard this line of, is an object. It is an object. Any object is an object. That's deep. No, any object objects to consciousness. How's that? It comes against consciousness. And this is in a good way or not good way. So we either like it, we do not like it. And this is our own minds interpreting, though our consciousness is what's seeing it all. So then when we look at this going within and learning who am I, or who is source, or what is source, I thought this was a very good quotation to try to help you understand this too. This is by Nisargadatta Maharaj, and it says, the source of consciousness cannot be the object in consciousness. To know the source is to be the source when you realize that you are not the person, but the pure and calm witness, and that fearless awareness is your very being. You are the being. The being, this energy, this awareness, we could say, this pure consciousness that notices the object through the eyes, or through touch, or through sound, or through a mental processing. And the mental processing goes through different layers too. So the highest level of mental processing is reasoning and understanding. And that space, we can still understand that through our minds as you're listening to me, that this is still a place of the mind, and it's still part of this form. So whether the form of the body, the form of the brain that allows understanding and reasoning, and actually even needs it to move beyond it, this is the way that is pointed at from all sorts of traditions. Whether we look at Advaita, Vedanta, we look at Buddhism, we look at Jainism, we look at any religion that talks about going within, that stop looking outside and seeing what's not right outside, go within and see whether you can get to that source within. It's all the same information. And that takes a letting go of the mind. And this whole being of just being, and not trying to make reasons or excuses or I did this because, or I do this because that's just how I am. That's my genetics. That's my upbringing. That's the people I hang around. That's because of the weather. Anything. We have all those reasons that come from that, again, highest level in the mind. And when we let go of all of that, we allow ourselves to be just being, just the awareness, objective awareness, not subjective awareness. Subjective awareness will be based on my experience, based on my learning, based on my knowledge, based on my feelings. All of those are objects. I do this. It leads to my action. And I've got all the reasons for the actions that I take, whether it's these videos that I make, whether it's the thoughts that I think. I've got reasons behind them. And yet, when I let go of it all, I get closest to pure source energy. And this, again, is a space that you would think, well, why would I want to do that? Because I really like the objects. I like the things that I eat. I like the things I listen to. I like the things that I do. I like the people I hang around. Perhaps you do. Or perhaps it's the opposite. I don't like what I'm eating. I don't like what I listen to. I don't like the friends that I don't even see anymore. Anything like that. That's all the objectification of what objects are in our perception. And this reason to do this is because that pure space is the space of creation, it's the space of oneness, it's the space of unity, it's the space of love and compassion, because love and compassion doesn't need a reason. It just is. It just is. Yet, if I choose to have a reason, I love this person because they're this relationship to me. This is my spouse, this is my parent, this is my child, this is my colleague, this is my sibling, this is anything, this is my dog, anything. I have a reason for it, and that comes from the mind. When we really, really go within, I don't need a reason for it. This conscious compassion, this is who I am. This loving space is who I am. We've even made all sorts of details about things like love and compassion and differences and comparisons. And honestly, in this space, there are no comparisons. There are no reasons. There's no need for it. There's just being. And that being is that pure perfection space. And many of us can get into that space during a meditation. Not that you're doing a meditation. You might be in an action that looks like meditation, but it's really just creating a space in the mind, in the body, that just allows a free flowing of source energy. And based on that, I came across this wonderful writing from Alan Watts that I also think is a fantastic speaker if you haven't seen him speak. I don't believe he's alive anymore, but at the same time, he's left a lot of fantastic lectures, certainly on YouTube. I believe that his son is actually putting up many of those videos that might have been lost, and a very intelligent man and very unique and very entertaining to listen to. But it's the same information. It doesn't matter who we listen to. And of course, I gather lots of sources and try to share them with you. But I'd love you to listen to this and reflect on the ideas and see, how does it resonate with you? So just think of energy and how it resonates with you. And if any thoughts arise, recognize that some of your thoughts will be fueled or tainted or tinted by the thoughts that have been fueled in the past. And to be in this moment and just be is just to take it in like a fresh bit of information. And let's see how this goes for you. If you would like to respond to this and let me know what your experience was like, I'd love to hear from you. If not, do take some time to reflect on this. There's no necessity for a response. Perhaps it helps you go into that maze that is you, that is me, that is consciousness. Here it is. He said, I had a discussion with a great master in Japan, and we were talking about various people who are working to translate the Zen books into English. And he said, that's a waste of time. If you really understand Zen, you can use any book. You could use the Bible. You could use Alice in Wonderland. You could use the dictionary, because the sound of the rain needs no translation. And I so love that. I hope that you can understand it. It's literally that there are some things that no words can ever describe, and no words are needed. It's just there. It's just there. I don't even want to call it an experience, because even an experience takes some logical understanding from the mind or the intellect, which will give that logical understanding. When we are thinking about life and being, it comes from a pure space, comes from the space of loving one another, compassion towards one another. This is being. But to consciously be this and not have any reasons to not be compassionate or not be loving, that is what needs to be filtered out, because I can have the reasons, well, this person didn't speak to me, this person looked at me funny, this person is acting unconscious themselves, like look how rude they're being, they're so not nice. It does not change the being, the essence of each of us. And this is the space that is the most loving space that we can work from. I feel that this is possible for each and every one of us. There only requires an intention to do so. And I hope that you have the intention to do so. I wish you to be the most compassionate and loving person that you can be in this moment, because this moment matters. If you look for any reason that, well, I don't have time to really think about this right now, so I'll think about this more later, you know that you're just buying time. Buying time buys more thought, and anything we can be in a moment from now, half an hour from now, and 6 months from now, we can be right here, right now. Today, I wish you a loving consciousness where you understand your true self and go within the maze to learn even more. I wish you a fantastic day ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.